Well, I went to my first air show in Muskegon, Michigan back in 1988. My first opportunity to play with dynamite and be that close to airplanes going by at 20 foot over the top of your head. The only way you could come away from that was, this is really neat.
1972 is when a group of guys in the Houston area flew the first Tora performance. It is the longest running civilian air show act in North America. I was 16 years old when my father started flying with Tora, so I grew up watching him do it.
A former boss of mine at work called me up one day and asked me how I'd like to have the most fun I could have with my clothes on. And the only answer to that question is where and when.
I'm Patrick Hutchins, Tora pilot.
Gordon Webb, Tora pyro leader.
As we get to the field, the pyro sets off a strafing run and a big explosion, and we break into our routine.
There's 8 aircraft in the air for the standard Tora performance, but also they'll do a dogfight, and here at Oshkosh we'll have the B-17 flying with us, so there'll be a lot going on.
There's opposing aircraft, 4 different patterns are being flown while our pyro team is doing all the explosions.
The typical Tora performance consists of 60 bomb shots, a walking bomb, a strafing run, and we like to do a wall of fire as a finale.
Well, when we take off, we don't talk on the radio at all.
It's a script. Once the 1 minute to Tora call is made as they're inbound, everything from that point is by time. Our performance is strictly a timed event so that it executes the way we need it to.
And the only call made on the radio are a few. 5 minutes to Tora. Tora is 3 minutes out. And then we fly our routine for about 8 minutes until we hear from the pyro team, Tora, you're out of bombs and bullets. And then the next thing we hear is, Tora, break it off. And that's all that's said on the radio in that 10 to 15 minutes.
And basically we're so good at it, it just happens.
20th Century Fox in the late 60s couldn't find enough Japanese airplanes to make the movie Tora, so they bought about 30 of these World War II trainers and converted them into Zeros, Kates, and Vals. These airplanes belong to the Commemorative Air Force, and the motto is, lest we forget. Americans have to stay vigilant. We have to understand where our freedom comes from, remembering how we were attacked on December 7th and remembering how we were attacked on 9/11 are reasons not to get complacent again, and it helps us appreciate the men and women that are in uniform, both fighting now for our freedom and the veterans that have fought in the past for our freedom.
Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, you are here!
It's a living history lesson for the kids. They come to air shows and they get to learn about history while they're seeing it reenacted. The most rewarding thing to me and most of the pilots is getting to visit with some of the World War II veterans. We've even got to talk to some that were at Pearl Harbor. And so it's kind of a privilege to meet those guys and hear their stories, because a lot of them aren't going to be with us too many more years. And the other rewards are people coming up after the show and thanking us for what we're doing, because they realize that what we're doing has a lot of value. Well, playing the bad guy comes up every once in a while, because back then the Japanese were definitely not our allies. And so playing the bad guy, to us, most of us have the same attitude. Someone's got to do it. Someone has to fly these airplanes and keep this thing alive.